G'day guys, welcome to my very first video on my brand new channel. So if you like what you see today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I decided to put this channel together because when I first started my smart home, I realized that there wasn't a lot of information out there on some of the products that I wanted to use. So I'm hoping to help people avoid some of the mistakes I made by putting out some more information out there. The first thing you need to know about when you're starting a smart home is there can be a lot of incidental costs and a lot of the add-ons that you can buy. So really you need to decide what it is you want to go for and if a smart home is for you. So I'm going to go through in this video a few of the things that you can buy without doing any major works on your house, like hardwiring anything in or any major renovations, that you can actually add in to decide if a smart home is something that would be suited to you and the people you live with. And really importantly, it's not going to break your budget, and most importantly, if you're anything like me, it's not going to annoy your wife. So the reason why I started my smart home was because someone gifted me a Google Nest Hub. While this is not a particularly cheap piece of equipment, Google has recently released a second generation of the hub, which I have seen retailed for as little as $77 whilst on sale. If you wanted to go a little bit cheaper, you could track down a first generation one, which could cost anywhere from as little as $20 or up. If a smart display unit isn't for you, there is a vast array of smart assistants that have been released by numerous different companies. In my research, I have frequently come across companies that I've never even heard of that have released entire ranges of smart equipment. Because I already have had a Google Smart Assistant, I've currently stuck with that one ecosystem, but in my research, I have seen people who use a range of ecosystems in one house for different things. The cheapest Google device that you'll find is the Google Home Mini. Admittedly, you won't find this in any retailers at the moment because it went off the market quite a while ago, but what you will find is the Google Nest Mini in its place. One of the other pieces of equipment that I've installed around my home are smart bulbs. Smart bulbs are a cheap, really useful piece of tech. You can automate anything that uses a light bulb as long as they're within range of your modem. In my house, I use automations or timers on my light bulbs every day. There is one major flaw with the automation of smart bulbs, and that is that the switch does not always reflect what is happening with the bulb. I frequently have my bulbs set up to turn off after they've not been used for a long period of time, especially if no one is likely to be awake or at home. Whilst it is a great energy saving automation, it will mean that sometimes the wall unit will show that the light switch is on, but the bulb is now off, which requires the user to turn the switch off, wait a second or two, and then turn it back on so that the bulb will react to the use of the switch. This doesn't bother me so much, but it is one of the most major gripes with my wife, and also one of the reasons why I will, with time, be converting more and more switches in my home to smart ones. Probably the second most useful piece of equipment that I use are smart switches and smart power boards. There is a whole variety of dumb equipment that can be made smart by simply using a switch. One of the things that I really like about smart switches at the moment is that many of them come with energy monitors. So you can see when you have an inefficient piece of tech that you should upgrade. I have also heard of someone using the energy monitor to create alerts of when their washing machine finished a load, because the energy level dropped back to its base level. So if you want to get creative, you could do things such as this. Motion sensors are also a really useful piece of tech. When you are initially setting up your smart home, you probably won't be investing in different camera systems, but you will probably be investing in smart lights or smart switches, as I previously suggested. Motion sensors work really well as an added bolt-on to your bulbs, but they can also be used as notification systems for security purposes, especially in a place at a time when no motion is expected.
Warning, there is someone outside your house. Reminder, there is an axe murderer on the loose.
One issue I have found with motion sensors is that sometimes the light can take 5 to 6 seconds to respond to the motion sensor, which isn't too much of a problem unless you're standing in a dark room waiting for the motion sensor to trigger the light. Not all motion sensors will take this long, however, it is something you may need to anticipate. Window and door contact sensors can also do much of the same as motion sensors. They can be used to trigger lights or other automated things or some sort of security system. Possibly, one of the most useful things they can be used for is for people who have garage access to their home to check if they have shut their garage. Obviously, these contact sensors cannot detect if a door or window is locked, but the only piece of smart tech that can do this is a smart lock. And these are not cheap pieces of equipment, and as a result are not something that I've invested in yet, although I will say I'm extremely intrigued and waiting for the day when I do get to install one or several of them. The last piece of cheap tech that I think anyone can invest in when first experimenting with smart homes are smart IR controllers. When these units are well placed within eye line of the devices that use infrared signals, such as TVs or aircon units, then they can be used to send signals in place of the remote. If you are lucky with the app, the IR unit will have an exact copy of the remote. Even if it does not, I have found that it can do almost any of the basic commands, such as turning on or off a TV, changing the channel, or turning on or off the aircon, or changing the temperature, settings, or mode. This can be especially useful if you cannot find the remote and want to turn one of the devices on or off. One of the most useful things I've found with my smart IR controller is to set up an automation to use the temperature to trigger it on in the morning just before I come down to my kitchen, but it only does so if the temperature drops below 12 degrees. This is a very limited range of things that you can do to deck out your house with smart equipment, or simply try out without breaking the bank or making any major alterations. There are a whole range of other devices and things that you can use from a whole range of companies, and they seem to be changing and improving every single day. If you think there's something that I've forgotten or left out, leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. With this channel just starting out, every subscriber is hugely important and will help encourage me to make future videos to help others. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope to see you next time.